how short I was. I know, you're surprised. I'm surprised. I used to think I was really tall. I'm not. I want to be 5'8", 5'9", long blonde hair. How we doing? You know, we have these pictures of ourselves, don't we? It's so much fun. So today, what I'm talking about is pure potential. Let's think about that. Pure potential. Let's open that door. And I came across some reading the other day, and it really impressed me, and I hope it does you too. And it said, passing through the confusion of my human experiences, I arrived at the conclusion that the Spirit of God is within me, and the breath of God is my life. Now that kind of comes from the Bible of Job. And Job says, the Spirit of God has made me, and the breath of the Almighty has given me life. Pure potential. Let's take that in this morning. Pure potential is ours to claim and to accept, no matter if we're 5'4" or shorter. It's ours to claim and to claim the fullness of that is desiring to be expressed in and through and as each one of us. We each belong to something greater. I'm going to invite you this morning to really take that in, and it is alive in each one of us. It is a life force. Author Brene Brown says this, in my opinion, very clearly. She says, the truth is, belonging to life starts with self-acceptance. Your level of belonging, in fact, can never be greater than your level of self-acceptance. Because believing that you're enough is what gives you the courage to be authentic, vulnerable, and imperfect. Let's repeat some of that. Because believing that you're enough is what gives you courage to be authentic, vulnerable, and imperfect. Pure potential. I think that has a lot to do with self-acceptance, just as we are and just as we are not. The truth is that each one of us is enough right now. So turn to someone and say, you're enough. You're enough. You're enough. Look around the room. You're enough. You're enough. We're more than enough. Sometimes too much. We're not going there today. We each have pure potential. And everything we need to overcome our limiting beliefs that we have allowed to get in our way from achieving our goals. It is our self-acceptance that awaits our recognition. Are you willing? Are you open? Are you receptive to self-acceptance, to pure potential? The only way we can activate our self-acceptance and pure potential is through the images of our thinking and through the beliefs that we entertain. So what have you been thinking lately that lifts you up? What have you been thinking lately that maybe sets you sideways? See, it's easy to say what's wrong and how bad things are, because there's more than enough to help you out with that, isn't there? However, as spiritual seekers, we can choose a more powerful way to look at and in our lives. See, I think that's our responsibility. It takes courage to change our thinking. We each have to be willing to marry a clear intention of how we wish to live. We each have to marry a clear intention of how we desire to live. We can live all twisted up. I don't know about you, but I did. Wasn't very fun. How about you? With a clear intention of what we're willing to say to ourselves. You know, I'm really becoming aware of that, of what I say to myself. Especially when I make a mistake, or used to. I'm being really careful. When I make a mistake or I spill something, I just laugh. Usually I say, "Oh, Margaret," because I'm Margaret, you know. "Oh, Margaret, you're okay." Because that's how I want to be with me. How are you wanting to be with you? See, I believe we have to put our heart into our future vision of ourselves and the life we desire to live. So we must come from the heart area, because I don't know about you, but I would never talk to somebody like I have talked about myself in the past. Anyone? Why don't we do that? Well, it's time to get over it. Stop it. Just stop. It's up to each one of us to release resentment, to release doubt, and to release fear. What are you afraid of? Anything that blocks our good is that closes the door on us. So I'm going to invite you to just take a breath. And I want you to go back in history and remember when you fell in love for the very first time. Ooh. Oh, you felt blissful. You were amazed at how you felt. You walked out in life elevated in this loving atmosphere. Nothing disturbed you. Oh, you were so in love. Didn't even bother you if you stubbed your toe. You felt beautiful or handsome. You felt like nothing could stop you. Go back to that feeling. Feel back into that. That love now. Remember the feeling. Let it expand. Felt great. Nothing could get near you or upset you. This elevated vision and feeling of love is our pure potential. Oh, this is who we truly are. Each one of us. We each can learn to redefine our lives from this elevated feeling and this blissfulness. Fall back in love. Not with that first person, but with you. Let love guide your way today. Oh, let it be fun to be in you. Because no one else can do you but you. And remember to keep seeing the perfect outcome as you make choices as to what you say and what you desire to do. Be inspired. Be inspired to believe in greater possibilities, because you just tapped into that love that expanded you into this blissfulness, into the past. We brought it to today. Are you willing to take that expansive sense of love in and with you this day and from here on. Yes?
Yes.
Good, a couple of you. The others lean into that. Have hope for that. Pray. Just because you can't see it today doesn't mean it's not possible. Remember Mother Teresa? I love her story. That years ago, when the war was happening, and they were, of course, at that point in time, they were fighting on the ground, and there were lots of wounded soldiers on the ground, and Mother Teresa came up to the general, and she said, I want to go out and pick up the bodies. And the general said, no way, you can't go out there, they're fighting, you'll get shot. And she said, well, I have to pick up the wounded soldiers. And he said, absolutely, no way. And she goes, well, what if there's a ceasefire? He said, no way, you're not going out there. She said, but what if there was a ceasefire? And she kept saying that, what if there's a ceasefire? Finally, the general got really tired of her, and he said, okay, if there's a ceasefire, yes, you could go out there. So she goes back to where the rest of the nuns were, nurses, and so she and the nuns started praying for a ceasefire. Within a couple of hours, there was a ceasefire. Boom, there she was. And she went out on the field, and the general said, stop, you can't go out there. She said, but there's a ceasefire. You said it, if there was a ceasefire. The general says, okay, go on out there. Do you see what I'm saying? She didn't take no for an answer. She recognized that with God, in knowing a greater truth beyond the condition and situation, that she could make that change. What if there's a ceasefire in our life that we stop talking against ourselves? So I'm going to invite you now to close your eyes. And just take a breath. And right now, let's take a moment to imagine what we wish to take place in our lives is already happening. It's happening. It's in your life right now. Feel into it. Expand your vision of what it is you desire. Feel into that vision of what you desire to take place in your life. Whatever it is, allow the feeling to be real and true. Might be perfect health. Might be a new place. Might be a greater sense of love, self-love. Let that vision expand. Feel into it. Feel the joy of that vision, like you felt the love. And breathe life into your vision, the same as God breathed life into you. Breathe life into it. Let it expand. Believe that you have the power to expand that vision. Allow it. Give it permission. Our pure potential awaits our attention. Breathe life into it. Now check in. Do you believe this vision you hold is possible? Yes. Because I believe in a ceasefire. Yes. I believe in the power of the unformed, that is yet to take form in my life. Yes. Pure potential awaits each and every one of us. Are you willing to accept that today? Take a breath. Anchor it. Open your eyes. Good. You did good. Ernest Holmes, our founder, says, there's a powerful presence within you. This healing presence wants only your good. However, he says, you must recognize it before it can operate for you. So I invite us each today to recognize this power, this invisible power that wants only our good, because we are just pure potential. We have the ability to move beyond conditions and beyond situations and claim and accept the greater truth in our lives. Remember that day you fell in love. You could do no wrong. So daily I invite each one of us to commit to giving thanks in advance for all of the good that we are welcoming into our lives. That's the key. We give thanks in advance for all of the good that's coming into our lives, because that's the key of creation. No, damn, why is it not here? Thank you, God, for this day. And today I invite each one of us to make room for that unseen as we open to greater possibilities. Let's be curious as to what's possible. I'm seeing this more and more in my life. Things that I desired, things that I envisioned, things that I hoped would take place are happening. Thank you, God. I thank God moment by moment by moment. One mind, one art is ours. So here's how the brain works. It's important that we know this. Our brain has to be taught to expand into future possibilities. Our brain looks for solutions. If something's wrong, what's wrong? Who did it? Where is it? The brain looks from past experiences. The brain only knows what's gone before. The brain has to be taught to expand into future possibilities. Brain will not do that on its own. Our brain has to be given permission to imagine the greater outcomes. So when we bring up this whole thing about falling in love for the very first time, we can remember it, yes? Yes. So now we want to expand on that and teach the brain that it's always falling in love with everything about our life and the greater outcome that is yet to take place, yes? Yes. Remember Mother Teresa. What if there's a ceasefire? She believed in it, and she called it forth before it happened. Unlimited possibilities await each one of us. This is what I know to be true. It's up to us. What is it you desire? It's personal. It's yours. See it. Believe in it. Believe it is in your mind as if it was actually true. Picture it. Imagine it. Now breathe life into that vision that you desire. I'm going somewhere. I really want everything to work out. That's why I say constantly, everything always works out for me. I trust it. I envision it. I breathe life into it. Name it, claim it, because you're you're pure potential. It's up to you. Self-acceptance is our key to personal freedom and to learning to bless ourselves, even when we make a mistake. I don't know about you, I make mistakes all the time. And it's okay. So let's take that into prayer. So we just breathe into pure potential. Knowing and accepting that there's only one life, one power, one all-loving, all-nurturing presence by whatever name. I call this God, the infinite, the divine, the beloved. Oh, how good it is to imagine, to move into this loving atmosphere of infinite possibilities, pure potential, of divine self-acceptance. Knowing and accepting that everything is working for our highest and greatest good. Knowing that where there's a need for healing, the healing happens. Because we have claimed it, we have said it, we believe in it. That the power of God is healing us right here and right now. This is what I know to be true. I know this is true for each and every one of us here this morning and those on Facebook. And I know this same radiates out to the hearts and the lives of our family, our friends, and the lives of the world. May our hearts be in this moment beating in peace. May this light of truth touch my life and each life that touches mine. May I be a radiant light of love and truth and harmony. And let me see it in each and every person I meet. So knowing and accepting that the spirit of life that we call God is greater than any condition, any situation. We claim it and accept it for ourselves today and for our loved ones, for our community, and out for the world. I know and accept that there is greater truth than we have spoken here today already taking place because we trust the divine. We trust that everything always works out for you and for me. And we give thanks in advance for that. And we just allow God to do God's work. And together, if you in agreement, please join me in saying, and so it is.